Start with
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice seeing you.
Tom Hooker.
Yep.
Jack Heading.
Here.
Gene Solberg. Lawrence Myers.
Here.
Jim Grind. And Gary Smith.
Here.
We have a quorum.
There's an agenda in front of you. Any additions or changes? If not, we'll go ahead and approve that. Can you please review the minutes from the Tuesday, March 27th meeting?
Somebody needs to approve the agenda.
A motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I move the minutes be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You approve? Okay. We have a financial report. And one year-to-date, including expenditures. And our head tax receipts look to be in very good order. We're back to a normal year
Right,
of reporting.
a timely year.
And does this represent all of the expenditures? Have they been, has everything been paid from the last advertising that we had? Is there anything still outstanding?
There are a couple that hadn't come in yet as of through the end of April, so we probably would be paying those in May.
Okay, we don't have an idea of what the balance is on those that are still owed? Just to,
Hold on one second.
make sure we have a sense of.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So we had Webster Kirkwood Times, we had Madden. So of some of the, so the future months of Madden.
Right, no, we're not,
Right.
just the bigger advertising that we did. And we had the Webster Kirkwood, we didn't have the, there's one other, there's an advert.
So the big one that hasn't been paid out of this would be the
That's South County, no,
South County.
Post Dispatch.
Yes, yes,
So it's the Post Dispatch, which is $4,600.
right.
That has not been paid yet. So just for.
Because it hasn't
And
happened.
that's not printed yet, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that-
happen until
Right.
next week.
Yeah, so that'll hit us right when this weather's gonna be nice and people are getting ready to travel. That should be a great thing. Any additions, corrections for the financial report? Anyone to move to accept it?
A motion to accept the financial report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. Any old business? I think
I have a couple
Sandra
of
has a whole bunch of fun ads that
Right.
and all the copies of things that.
So
that went out.
remember Webster Kirkwood Times and South County Times. So we decided to change it up a little bit, and instead of the previous month, which was romance and adventure in St. Genevieve in the month of February, we really focused on in this one, spring and summer events. So it started out with the École de Soldat, which is in April, the April Art Walk, Master Gardener's Garden Walk, and so I'll pass these along. One of those is Webster Kirkwood Times, and the other is South County Times. And so it turned out beautifully. This was a nice layout for
Yeah.
us.
It's a preview of all the summer concerts and everything. So it was good.
Yep.
I think it gives people a really good idea of what's going on here in that format.
Yes, yes. And so sometimes you have a happy pairing of outreach on our part to writers and also a little advertising on our part. So I'm going to hold this up so that you can see it, but this is the West News Magazine. We just started advertising in this publication in the fourth quarter of last year. And you can see on the front, that is our gorgeous Green Tree Tavern, and it says Rediscovering St. Genevieve. So we made the front cover on it, and they did a 2-page article, minus this quarter over here, but this was our paid ad. So this is technically a 1/8 page paid ad, and all of this content is about St. Genevieve. So when this hit, we had a really nice spike in traffic to our website. So I'll start this. Tom, I know you have seen it, but
Yeah, go ahead.
do you want to start it down this way? So we had a nice spike in traffic to our website, almost in tandem with each one of these, because this one was April 20th through the 26th, so people saw it at different times that week. So the next thing I'm going to hand out to you is a little graph to show our website traffic from basically from March 1st through May 8th. So if you could,
You just can't keep on the paper.
Yeah.
you can take one of those and pass it down.
Mickey keeps saying, oh yeah, we'll do it.
So you'll see, I'll wait till everybody gets that, but you'll see these spikes. The first really significant spike there is there's a bump on April 1st. That's when the spring vacation.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Tom, do you want to get you some more?
No, good.
That's when this spring vacation guide, so this is the Missouri Division of Tourism, multi-page publication that gets inserted into hundreds of thousands of newspapers throughout Missouri and St. Louis market and Kansas City market, in Chicago area, Memphis, and so on. This goes in, and we had this is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is a 1/16th ad, and it's not inexpensive, believe it or not, but it stands out nicely on the page. It says St. Genevieve, just an hour south of St. Louis. Come explore Missouri's oldest town, unique French colonial architecture and small town charm. Visit stgen.com. So when this hit on April 6th to 7th, we received, as you can see on your website traffic tracking, we received a big spike in our online traffic to visitstgen.com. I'll pass this around so that everyone can see this. That one. And there's one. Pass this side. Use the one as well. So from this ad, we have already received more than 600 leads of people specifically asking for information about our destination. You'll see that on the second tab that is marked on the right-hand side. You see all those brochure copies there. So they either like circle number 26 or whatever it is for St. Genevieve, and they say, send me information about this, or they can check the box that says, send me information on all the ones that I saw in this publication. So then we receive those leads directly, and then we respond to those by sending a postcard to each of them, you know, saying, here's information about St. Genevieve, here's our website, come visit us. So, well, as you would expect, we have had a nice response to that. As I said, over 600 leads already, and we get them on a weekly basis. So, and these are just leads in Missouri and Illinois. So these are people who could very easily be coming to visit us in the near future. So there was a great response to both of those publications and to these. So this came out the week of April 20th through the 26th, and you see a spike there on April 23rd, probably in association with that, but it's gradually going up. The 23rd, another one on the 27th, 28th, 29th. So, and there are other things that we're doing, you know, so they might have heard it on the radio, they might have seen the Facebook promo, whatever it might be. We're getting additional web traffic, so, and we're getting additional leads, people specifically asking for our information based on something that they've seen. So that's, you know, that's half the battle when they engage. So they're engaging, they're asking for information, and we're sending it to them. So that's one thing that I have put onto your agenda for consideration this evening is, well, because of these leads, we now find ourselves in a situation where we need postcards and postage to respond to those leads that were not in our budget, because this would not have been on the budget if the committee hadn't approved to be able to do it.
Yeah, because this is normally paid out of tourism grant money. And we basically thought that we really needed to keep that presence earlier this year, and voted to go ahead and pay for that ad. And then we have the follow-up, and Sandra's requested $500 for postcards and $690 for postage to help fulfill these leads and take them to the next level. And that's on part of our you know, monies to look at funding tonight.
So the other, sorry.
So how long do you think that will last?
Oh, well, I'm hoping that it would, they usually tend to kind of taper off after June, because you know how that is at your house, this lays around the coffee table for a month or so before you get around to it, and so they usually tend to taper off after about 2 months.
Yeah, they got a 60 to 75 day lifetime.
So the other thing that I brought, which we talked about briefly at the last meeting, and I thought it might be helpful, were the circulation numbers. We've talked about this from time to time, so I just put together a list of each one of the publications that we typically include in one form or another with we hit it with some form of our tourism advertising, whether it's paid for through this committee or paid for independently of that. And so on the left side there, sorry for the small print. Sorry for the small print, but on the left side there, those two columns, you can see the top part is the Missouri Fall and Winter Vacation Guide. That's the fall partner to the document that's in front of you. We advertise in that as well, but that's the one that is, we received 50% of that through the grant money. And then below that is the spring and summer circulation guide. So the spring and summer, you can see, goes to 1 million households newsprint. And you can see Missouri is 40,000, Kansas City, Missouri is 150,000. Illinois, you see there's Peoria, 40,000, Springfield, 12,000, suburban Chicago, 70,000, and Chicago Sun-Times, 50,000, and the Pioneer Press in Chicago, 15,000. So that's, you know, that's a significant presence especially in the outside 50 miles Missouri and Illinois markets. So then on the other side, to the right side of that landscape layout, you see WK Times, Webster Kirkwood Times, 78,000 distribution there. The Belleville News Democrat is about 150,000. St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and we talked about this at the last meeting if you recall, that's 600,000 in the St. Louis metro area. Midwest Living, I don't hit that one very often. From time to time, we are able to, afford advertising in
It's
there,
inexpensive.
again, through the tourism budget. I just thought you would be interested to see how all these things compare to each other. Riverfront Times, we did more advertising in that last year because of the Eclipse event and trying to kind of reach out to some of those younger travelers who might want to come for that. And then there's the Fall and Spring Missouri Vacation Guide. The Cape Jackson area with the Southeast Missourian, again, we hit that kind of on a rotating basis. There's usually a spring or fall publication there that we try to hit. And then the AAA Midwest Traveler. This is one that usually at least once a year we hit the AAA publications. And of course, we try to maintain our free listing in their travel guides and online. So that's really for reference purposes. I just thought it would be helpful for you to have everything kind of at a glance. So that when we talk about these, I mean, I may not always have this in front of me, but at least you'll have it to refer to. So those are my old business items.
Great. Looks good. Any other old business or anything input on some of these publications we've been working with?
Sandra, didn't you include the circulation for Early American Life magazine, which is national?
I did not,
That's mostly tourism budget though.
yeah. And it's kind of a specialty, but I certainly could, yeah, because it gets us exposure that we don't generally
Yeah, national.
get, yeah.
We've advertised in that before, though, haven't we?
The last 3 years? Is it 3 this year?
3 years.
This will be the 3rd year?
This will be 4 coming up.
2015, 16, 17, this will be 4.
Okay, okay. So, they're talking about the Early American Life magazine, which,
It's a great magazine.
yeah, yeah.
But
So their July issue, right?
July, August.
Includes information about I was about to say Best of Missouri Hands, but what's
But-
their?
The
But it-
Directory of Traditional
Yeah,
Crafts.
it's the listing, and this year it's 140 top American artisans that have submitted their work to be judged by museum curators as museum worthy, and then selected. And it gives a listing for each of those. We have 3 of those artists in our community.
We used to just have one, but now we have
We
three.
have
Of
3
course,
of
the
them.
first one was ASL Pewter.
And we got Candy Mahern, who has Sassafras Creek, and also Lisa Palmer, who does the paper quilling. And she has some pretty ones. So yeah, and so that's been they're very happy with that. Also, Sandra has been providing, and also a number of we've been submitting a lot of things concerning about the national park, and since they did an article a number of years ago about the Bolduc House, that museum, they're interested in doing a follow-up article on the national park and just kind of the process of how long it's taken to do that. So just be and when that fits in with an editorial, they'll be working on that. For the last 4 years, this year included, we've been the artists that come into our shop and contribute. We've been taking half a page ad, and tourism is taking half a page ad. And the last couple of years, we've secured the back inside cover of the national magazine. And they give it to us at 1/3 the normal rate.
Oh.
And so it's $1,600 that's split between the 2 of us for a full page, full color inside back cover. And this is the one. Almost every year, this is the one that everybody keeps and collects. This has all the names of all the artists and pictures of all the artists' work.
And it's coming out in July?
We will have it probably the end of June, first week or so of July, at newsstands, I think, somewhere in that time period.
So when you see that event on the St. Genevieve list of festivals and events cards, it's out in circulation. In July, the traditional artist showcase and sale That directory has come out just before they host this event.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, and we're hoping, we've had a lot of interest this year, and we're actually full of artisans, and we're hoping that maybe next year we can secure a place that we can do an overflow and actively get more artists to come in.
Spread them out a little bit.
And we can spread some artists into a couple other venues in town and grow that.
Fabulous. Didn't know you were good.
Oh, we only have so much room.
Right.
And also with it being that time of the summer, we don't want to, delegate some people to just the front porch because
Yeah.
it's hot and sunny outside.
Yeah.
So, okay. I guess we have some expenditures to take a look at. There's a small sheet in front of you. It has, one we've already kind of led in on, and that's the fulfillment for the travel insert. That's the third item on there, which is paying for the postcards and postage. And we can do these all as a blanket if you'd like. Social media, this is a campaign that Sandra's been working on, and we've been working on together. This time of year, tourism money begins to be spent on other types of things here through the community. And so we wanted to kind of do a more well-rounded approach and add some of our money into the social media and use targeted Facebook primarily for not just special events, but shopping here in town and showing bed and breakfast and shopping, showing things to do, venues that have some nightlife, some bands, some restaurants, and try to hit those in several different categories and rotate those ads over the next 3 months, and actually pay for the extra circulation of those ads, and just to kind of keep something fresh in front of people, and some of them might be when they do shopping, do 2 or 3 different shopping ads, and just list the variety of things that we have to offer and several different pictures, just to keep it fresh in front of people. Also, maybe touching some on the history to reinforce some of the other events that are going on here.
And the lodging.
And especially in the lodging. And pretty much always mentioning, come see Historic St. Genevieve and stay at the bed and breakfast while you're here, shop here, eat here, play here. And if they're timely, we'll even, hit the Friday night concerts, hit just a little bit of everything on each of those depending on when the ad runs. And we were looking for approval of a budget of about $1,800 for those paid advertising to go out over the next 3 months. And one thing that we neglected last time, we had approved the CTM, which is the distribution of all the RAT cards for the next 6 months. But we did not, and both of us forgot, the search engine marketing that we've been paying for on an ongoing basis. And this gives us an opportunity, if we approve this for the next 6 months, that maybe we can not have a meeting next month. And so those are itemized. Its average is $330 a month for that. So a total of expenditures for the 3 items of $4,970. If there's any discussion.
How many postcards does that get you?
So I'm planning on about 1,500 postcards.
And how long do you think
As-
that'll last?
Well, I think that should last us through June. I don't have the quote in yet, but that's what it was last time, so.
And postage, do you use
That's the special postcard
Okay.
stamp, yeah.
That's for 1,500 of them.
Mhm.
The 690. And hopefully next year, tourism will be fully funded and we won't have to pay for this or the ad.
Well, yeah,
We
speaking
can
of your
hope.
legislature.
We could hope.
What does CTM stand for?
CTM is the contractor that does our rat card brochure. It's the name of their business is CTM.
Thank you.
No. Make sure it wasn't missing.
Well, it sounds like we're getting bang for our buck. So,
It's 3,000 per stamps.
3,000 stamps.
It's been a while since I did it.
so if we're considering them all three together, then I'll go ahead and move that we approve all three.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any other business?
If anyone would like to, I have examples of the previous Facebook ad that we did, and I can show you that after the meeting if you want to stick around.
And I really like the newer graphics with that pop of color when it was so funny when we looked at it.
Yeah, it grabs your eye, it really does.
We were sitting around and Sandra brought out two pictures and one of them, you set it down here and it's like, yeah. You put the other one, it's like, yeah, you know,
Kind of grabs you.
just the color saturation change really helped bring that forward.
Up, yeah. That's it.
I motion we adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Good job, everyone.